Hey guys, hope you're well. So in the previous lesson we spoke about tariffs, but those examples were all about water and electricity, okay? Now, in this lesson, we're going to carry on with tariffs, but we're going to go looking at bank charges, cell phone contracts, and then we're going to just look at a few random ones like parking tickets, traveling on a bus. Okay, so we've got a lot of cool examples coming up in this lesson. So here we go. This is a typical, so sometimes, when you're using your bank card, you're going to get different fees or charges that they're going to give you depending on whether you maybe do a withdrawal, a deposit. They sometimes charge you for those. And so this table will help us to do it. Okay, so here's the question at the bottom. It says, how much would it cost to withdraw 700 Rand from an ABSA ATM in 2016? Now, this is ABSA Bank, okay? It's an ABSA current account. So if you are withdrawing from ABSA in 2016, you're going to go to withdrawal, but you see there's two of them. One of them is at your own bank, which would be ABSA, and this would be at another bank like Capitec, Nedbank, FNB. But it says at an ABSA ATM, and this is for ABSA. So we're going to go to the own bank, and now we at 2016 because it says 2016, and now it says that we want to withdraw 700 Rand. So it says that you're going to pay 3 Rand 95. Okay, so let's say 3 Rand 95 plus 1 Rand 30 for every 100 Rand. Okay, but how many 100 Rands are we going to be getting? We're going to be getting 7 of those. So we're going to say 1 Rand 30 multiplied by 7. And if you had to calculate this, you end up with 13 Rand and 5 cents. Okay, so if you had to go withdraw 700 Rand, you're actually going to pay 713 Rand and 5 cents. That's pretty crazy. So you wanted 700 Rand, they're going to give you 700 Rand, but on your bank statement, you're going to realize you've actually been charged an extra 13 Rand because of the fees that they've given you. Okay, so let's look at another one. So it says determine the value of A. So what is A? Okay. Oh, I see. So it's a deposit. So we're doing a deposit, and the fees for a deposit goes like this. And if you look in this column, it's a 500 Rand. 500 Rand. So we are going to deposit 500 Rand. Okay? So it says that it's going to cost us 3 Rand plus 1 Rand 30 for every 100 Rand. So you're just going to, for every 100 Rand, but we're doing 500 Rand, so that means we're going to be doing 5 of those. And so if you had to go calculate this, you end up with 9 Rand 50. This one says Mary needs to withdraw 200 Rand from a Capitec ATM. How much would this cost her? Okay, so we have to assume that Mary has an ABSA account, okay? So because this is an ABSA bank statement or an ABSA bank fee structure, when you do a withdrawal in 2017, you're going to either go to this one or this one. But if it was at an ABSA bank, see, it's an ABSA fee structure. So own bank would be ABSA, but any other bank like Nedbank, Capitec, FNB, then you have to go to the other ATM. So we're going to go to this row over here, and they said it's 2017. So we're going to look at the 2017 fees, and so we are going to be looking over here. So they tell us that it's going to be 9 Rand 95 plus 1 Rand 35 for every 100 Rand. If we withdraw 200 Rand, then there are 2 of those. So we're going to say 1.35 Rand multiply by 2. And if you had to go calculate that, you end up with 12 Rand 65. 12 Rand and 65 cents. This example is based on cell phone usage, okay? So here you can make a local, so with your cell phone, you can make a local call. A local call means, let's say you live in South Africa, which we all do. Or 99.99% of us watching this would be in South Africa. There are some of you who maybe travel and things like that. Or I've even got some learners who are like in America and all over the world actually who watch Kevin Math Science. But most of you, like 99%, are South African. So if we have a look here, you could make a local call. What that means is you're phoning anybody else in South Africa. You could do an SMS. You could do an international SMS. And then they've got the different pricing options over here. Okay, so let's see what they say. Jessica used her phone as follows this month. Local calls, she did 11 minutes of local calls. So that's going to be 90 cents per minute. But she did 11 minutes. So we're going to say 11 multiplied. Ooh, but we've got to be careful. There's rands and there's cents. So you need to choose either you're going to calculate everything in rand or in cents. Let's go to rand. So to go from 90 cents to rand, you divide by 100. And so that's going to be 0.9 rand or 0.9 multiplied by, or technically you could say 0.90 if it's because it's money. So you could say that multiplied by 11 minutes, okay? Plus local SMS, 12 of those. So the SMS costs 80 cents. So 80 cents divided by 100 is going to be 0.80 like that. So you're going to say 0.80 multiplied by how many SMSs again? She did 12 SMSs. Plus international SMS, she did one of those, and that's R1.95. Okay, so it's R1.95, and she only did one of those. And so if we had to go add all of that together, she would have been charged 21 Rand and 45 cents. The parking price at an airport is given below. Okay, now this is really important. You know, in the previous lesson when I showed you the tables with the water and the electricity, and with those tables, you always had to start at the top, and then you would go down. So, like if, for example, they said 3.5 hours, then if it was like a water and electricity, you would start at the top, and then you would go there, and then you would go there, and then you would go there, and then eventually you would end up over here by 3.5 hours. That is only with the water and the electricity. In real life, when you're getting a parking price at an airport, for example, you don't start at the top. What you do is you literally just go to where you are. So it says, how much will you pay if you park for 2.5 hours? So you just go here, because 2.5 hours is somewhere in between here. And so you are just going to pay 48 Rand. Simple. Okay, easy as that. How much would you pay if you park for 45 minutes? Well, 45 minutes is over here. So that's going to be 25 Rand. And then how much would you pay if you park for 15 hours? Well, that's going to be over here. So that's 190 Rand. Okay. All right, so this is the MyCity bus service. Now, Colin uses the MyCity bus service, and you get different options, okay? So you can be a standard MyCity bus member, standard, or you can be a mover. Now, a mover, that's a little bit cheaper, okay? Now, you can also travel at different times. You can travel... Let's quickly just highlight. You can be a standard member, or you can be a mover member. Now, you could travel at peak. Peak is when it's very busy, or you can travel off peak. And you can do the same as a mover, peak and off peak. Okay, so Colin uses the MyCity bus service. He has a standard plan, okay, so we're not going to use any of the mover numbers. And he always travels during peak times. Okay, so we're not going to use this one. He only travels peak plan, and he's a standard member. So it says Colin's work is 24 kilometers away. How much does he spend to travel to and from work each day? So remember, Colin has to go 24 kilometers to work. So 24 kilometers will be over here. This is the same as the previous one. you mustn't go from the top. You just go to the one that you have to use. It's not the same as water and electricity. So 24 kilometers, you're not going to say first there and then you go there and then no, you just go straight to the 24. So 24 would be in between these two, somewhere over here. And so that's going to be 19 Rand. But that is to go from home to work, but then he has to come home again in the evening, and so you would multiply that by 2 because he's going to do that twice. And so he's going to spend 39 Rand 60 per day. Okay? So you must remember, he goes from home to work, then when he's finished work, he has to go home again. Okay, Vuyo is on the mover plan. Okay, so we're not going to use any of these ones. Okay, and he travels during off-peak. Okay, so we're not going to use any of that. So we're going to use off-peak and the mover plan. Now it says he would like to go visit his girlfriend, who lives 35 kilometers away. How much will it cost him to get to her and to also return home later in the afternoon? Okay, so he goes to her house and he goes back. Now you mustn't do this. You mustn't say 35 plus 35 is 70 and then you go to this one. No, it doesn't work like that. Just like when I showed you Colin, you mustn't say 24 plus 24 is 48, and then you go to this one. No, you got to look each time you drive. Okay? So each time Vuyo drives, it's 35 kilometers. And then later in the afternoon, he'll get back into the bus, and then he'll go 35 kilometers again. Okay? So you mustn't say 35 plus 35 is 70. You just say how much does he travel at a time? So he's going to travel 35 kilometers in the morning, so that'll be over here. So that's going to be 11 Rand 60. Okay, and then he's also going to have to do 35 kilometers in the afternoon again when he comes home, and so that's going to be why we multiply it by 2. And so that's going to be 23 Rand 20.